Well, I'm not so sure about that, but that's enough of it. We're looking at a Fender Blacktop Jazzmaster. And as you can see, if you look at the old Jazzmasters, I think they had roller knobs up here for tone and I don't remember what all. Were quite a bit different than this. And they're different than the Jaguar in that this is a 25.5-inch scale. And the Jaguars were 24. They were some strange scale. They were kind of neat with all the buttons and switches and all that kind of stuff. This thing has Duncan design pickups in it that Fender had put in, which I'm often not very fond of. In this case, I kind of like them. The humbucker seems to me to be kind of a low output humbucker, and the I call it a P90, but the original ones were not actually P90s. They were the Fender soap bar version of a P90, which were a little bit different. In this case, I'm sure it's like a Duncan design P90, but it sounds absolutely, it plays great and it sounds great, minus that it goes out of tune about every 3 minutes. Now I just played that little bit there. Well, it's staying in tune a little bit, but it will go out pretty quick if just sitting around. I mean, I tuned it right before the video and took a short break, got something to sip on, and came back and the thing was half a step low again. These are made in Mexico. Probably around 2011, I think, is when the Blacktops came out. And it was one of the, when they first came out. I think the Blacktops are a great deal if you find them used for the right price. I think they do okay. I think they sound good and they play okay. Especially on the Strats and the Tellys and all that good stuff. So they made tons of versions of every type of guitar. I don't know if they made a Jaguar though. This thing sounds best in the middle position where you get a little bit of the Bucker and a little bit of the P90. Let's get a clean amp here and see what we can do. Anyway, it sounds great. Let's test out that humbucker with the treble wide open. Going through the E band. In the middle position. And the neck position with the P90. That P90 sounds great, even though it's not really a P90. I don't know what it is. It sounds best in the middle position. But let's go back to the bridge pickup and let's take a look at this tone. You know, on most of these you turn the tone down and it just goes to a muddy mid-tone, not even a mid-tone, it's worse than that. You can EQ it with your amp and get around it, work around it, but on its own it sounds terrible. So let's do that. Doesn't sound quite so bad here. Pretty muddy on the bridge on the humbucker. Now let's just move it up a notch to just a 1. And we can see right about 1, it kicks in and goes all treble. Now we go to about 5, no change. Go to 10. Maybe a tiny little bit of change. There's 0 and there's 1 and the rest of it, and it's all the same from 1 on. pretty cheap pots is my guess. I don't need a wah-wah. I can just go from 0 to 1. Yeah, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 have no. Nope. Nope, no real tonal difference there. Yeah, 0 and 1 and everything else. In the neck position. I love the sound of that pickup. Yeah, I love the sound of the neck and the middle position, and the humbucker's okay. But considering these are those Duncan design pickups, I'm pretty impressed. The bridge on these things are terrible. They buzz, a little bit of buzz on there. And there's all sorts of solutions out there there used to be an attachment you could buy that would create greater string tension or something like that. I remember seeing that years ago. And this is the special dusty model that I send out to have it dusted up. Very costly. Cost me a fortune to have that done. But without the dust, what would it be? The other thing is, so the other solution is a new bridge. And if you want to go with the good bridges, I saw a couple of them listed right around the 200 mark, a little more. You know, the problem with that is the guitar, I bet you would get it at least for 500, if not less. I saw one for $4.99 that was claimed to be new old stock. I always worry about the new old stock when they're, I mean, I guess this would be kind of almost new old stock. I've played it all of it's had about 2 hours of playtime on it probably in 9 years or something like that. Still got the plastic all around. I don't know. But if I were playing it on a regular basis, I would want to do something with that bridge. And the other thing is this does not have the screw-in wiggle bar. It's just got one that you push in, and you got to push it in quite a bit, and then you almost have to retune. Well, not today. But if I play this sitting down and I lean forward, it oftentimes will just slip right out and fall on the floor. And the solution for that, according to one website, is you put it in a vise, lock it down in a vise with just about a ½ inch sticking, and then give it a whack with a hammer. And I just can't bring myself to doing that. There's actually some wear on it from putting it in, taking it out and putting it in and taking it out. Because I've had to do that a lot just because it'll just fall out on its own. But in the middle position, boy, this thing sounds glorious when it's in tune. So, you know, you might consider a new bridge. I'm sure there's cheaper options for a bridge out there, but I don't know if they'd be any better than this. It just depends how they're built and what they look like. So 25.5 inch scale, it is 42 millimeters at the nut, 1.68, 1.6 something, 66. I do have a cheat. 1.65 it says here. You got to worry when these guitars go out of stock and they don't make them anymore, and you look at all the big box websites that give specs. You got to worry, or the big box stores, or even some of the other websites. I found one that said it had 22 frets. They don't. They have 21 frets. And when you see something wrong like that, worry about all the information because you don't know what you're getting. But I was able to find a few that identified that they're Duncan design pickups. That it's a 25.5 inch scale, of course, that's given. But alder bodies. I was able to verify that. Alder bodies with a maple neck and an actual authentic 100% in rosewood. rosewood fretboard. What am I missing? Nothing. I think that's about it. Gloss urethane, white dots. The nut, I actually got one with a good nut. I mean, it's really set in there. Just looks to me to be perfect. And it is 100% synthetic bone. I actually don't mind them. I can't tell. Put a real bone nut in there and I couldn't, blindfolded, I couldn't tell you the difference. I would not go out and buy one used probably today unless you were willing or interested in doing something with that bridge, because it does just go out of tune so much so quick. And in fact, I've just played it a few minutes for the intro and here during this, and we see it's about a quarter step high. It's consistent. When they go out, they're either a quarter note high or a quarter note low. Today's feature is it's high. All of them are slightly high. Whoop, that was the wrong one. Fairly sloppy tuners. I mean, one tunes real loose and feels like it's ready to fall apart. I mean, literally, I bought this new and it's got very few hours of playing. I probably not like 2 or 3, because I kind of put it away. And that was it. And you have to be careful, make sure you're not putting any pressure on the tremolo, on the wiggly stick as you tune, because boy will that screw things up. You can hear a real interesting side effect on this. Even in the middle position, it's pretty noisy. There's the bridge. Middle. That switch has some interesting little electrical sparks going on or something when I switch it. It's way too loud. But you can if I really crank it up, it's really interesting. That's just me putting my hand on the strings and taking it off. But if I press on the pick guard, on the plastic pick guard, it changes. Explain that one to me. Somebody, please explain that to me. Anyway, let's see what we got. Oh, if you'd like, you can sign up, subscribe, give a thumbs up, give a thumbs down, leave a comment. Tell me what you think about Jaguars, Jazzmasters, the bridge systems, the pickups. Are you as opposed to Duncan Design pickups as some are? I've often not liked them, and then in the very next guitar played it and thought, it's not so bad. And so I don't know if it was a consistency thing or if there were many versions, different designs maybe. I don't know. But in this case, I like it. That's not always the case. So until next time, we'll talk to you later. Good day and good luck. Stop it all right there. Look at that. I hit that with my, I don't use a pick, but I use my fingernail and sometimes form it like as if it's a pick. And I just hit that at the right angle, and I totally slid the B string right off the bridge, right off the saddle. How interesting. Now everything's going to be out of tune. Not by a little. Well, I had to detune it just to get it back over. Everything else survived it, I think.